Hey everyone, welcome to the channel where we talk about all things movies. Welcome especially if you're new. If you love talking about movies and just staying up to speed on, what's in theaters and what's worth checking out, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my reviews. Alright, with that, we'll jump right on into this review. And today, I just got back from seeing Lightyear in the theater in IMAX. And so we're going to talk about it. And with that, let's just jump right on into the synopsis. So while spending years attempting to return home, marooned Space Ranger Buzz Lightyear encounters an army of ruthless robots commanded by Zurg who are attempting to steal his fuel source. So my anticipation going into this film, I would say, was pretty high, at least relative to other movies that have been coming out. I would say it's above average. It wasn't like my most anticipated film of the year, but I've enjoyed all the Toy Story movies. Those are ones that I grew up on, and while I think the first like four was a step down from some of the others, it's was still enjoyable, and it's they're films that I like. So seeing that they were gonna do a Lightyear movie, I was excited to see that, and see what sort of universe they would create around the character of Buzz, and obviously we saw Zurg as a toy in Toy Story 2. So I was definitely interested to check it out, and the trailers made it look pretty interesting. So with that, let's get into my thoughts on the film now that I've seen it. So first and foremost, of the things that I liked about the film, I really enjoyed Buzz's character. He was super relatable for me personally. Like, I felt like I could just easily project myself onto him. His mannerisms and personality felt very much like a reflection of myself. So that made the movie super enjoyable on that front because he's the main character. So anytime you can get a character that's relatable to you, that generally makes the movie that much more enjoyable. So that's the case here, and it's just things with sort of his no nonsense attitude and general annoyance at some of the other characters. I was personally relating with him in the moment. And then the main one as well is just his drive to kind of complete his mission. And that is his primary focus, and he's very driven by that and not really looking to get too attached to other characters. So I thought they did a really good job of, making this this is still the Buzz that we know, but they made it, still a slightly different version. Like, this isn't a copy and paste of what we know from Toy Story. This is meant to be a version of the character, and that toy is just based off of this. So I thought they did a really good job there. And then other things that I liked, I thought the animation was top notch, as it always is from Pixar. But just things like I found out yesterday, because I was reading up to see, should I see this in IMAX or should I see it in 3D? Because I generally like 3D, but it would have been one or the other. And kind of looking around for that, I found out that they actually made now the first virtual IMAX camera to shoot this film. So like Pixar developed that for this film specifically, and they shot the film in IMAX through this virtual IMAX camera. And I thought that was really cool. So that was hands down, I was going to go see it in IMAX because this is the first movie of its kind to be shot in like a virtual IMAX or through a virtual IMAX camera. So that was really great just to get the IMAX dimensions, and then, that on top of, top-notch animation was great to see on the big screen. Next up, I thought the music was done really well. That was composed by Michael Giacchino, and he's been just knocking it out of the park lately. This is maybe not his strongest of the last year, but that's really, that's not knocking this film. It's just because he's had other, like, the Batman and Spider-Man No Way Home. Those just had phenomenal soundtracks. So I think this was really good and fit the movie, although it's probably not my favorite of the three, but definitely going to go check that out when I get a chance. And then I thought the story and kind of the concepts of the concepts that the movie touches on were all really interesting, and that's what kind of kept me engaged, was sort of like the science part of it. But the story was also pretty good as well. So that those were all the things that I liked about the film. Some of the things I didn't care for as much. While I did like the story overall, I thought the second act was a bit weaker than the others. I think the first act was definitely my favorite, and the third act was pretty good to bring the movie home. But the second one, it was fine. It was good. It just wasn't as good as I think the other acts. And then as far as side characters go, I thought it was a sort of mixed bag. So I was expecting to dislike Socks. He's the kind of the AI cat companion for Buzz. I was expecting to not like him because I'm not a big pet person, but I actually enjoyed that character. Maybe it's more because Socks was more of an AI, although he was still a cat, but it was a mixture of the two, and I think that's the part that made me like him a bit more. But the other side characters, I thought they were well done characters, but they were characters whose like personalities I didn't personally enjoy. So, but like like I felt like I could relate with Buzz because a lot of the times he wasn't really enjoying them, and he just kind of wanted to go off and do his own thing. So I thought it was well done, even though I found them somewhat annoying. But that like I thought they were just very realistic characters, though. Like in real life, you don't get along with everybody, and so that I think I'll be interested to see how different people react to the characters, or which ones they like more than not. Like I could see a lot of people, or some people at least, not really liking Buzz for like because of his personality, but like I enjoy it because I can relate to it. So I thought it was good to have a mixture of characters like they did throughout the story. So it wasn't bad. Like I don't see that as a bad thing. It was just kind of mixed as far as my personal enjoyment of the film. So it was good to see, even though it made me annoyed at the characters at times throughout the film. So overall, I would say this was a good film and one that I'd recommend seeing, especially in theaters. I think it is good to see on the big screen. I'm definitely very happy that they let this go to theaters and didn't send it straight to Disney Plus like they've done for the last couple Pixar films. But yeah, overall, this movie, it brings stuff that makes you feel like you recognize it, and it's stuff you've seen before because it's Buzz Lightyear. But it also kind of refreshes that and gives you something new, and packages that up into a really gorgeous looking animated fun movie that I think most people are going to enjoy. So with that does it for this review. If you've been able to see the movie, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Who was your favorite character in the movie? Mine was Buzz. I'd love to hear whose yours was. And, let me know if you'd like to see a sequel to this movie, or if you'd maybe like to see Pixar do like a Woody movie, or are you just done with the Toy Story sort of brand in general? I think I'd like to see a sequel to this movie of those options, but I think if they did just a one and done with this, I'd be fine with that. But well, kind of on that note, well, it's not necessarily on that note, but if you do go see it, be sure to stick through the credits and also stick through like the end logo. So after the credits stop rolling, and then after the Pixar and Disney logo, there are 3 clips during the credits that you may or may not want to check out. But that is just as an FYI. So, but yeah, with that, we'll wrap up this review. All right, if you've enjoyed this review, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next review.